Hanukkah, come light a menorah. Let's have a party, we'll all dance till Torah. Gather round the table, I'll give you a treat. Sippy, won't you play with the latkes to eat? And while we are playing, the candles are burning low.
Hi everyone, Rabbi Fischel here. Happy Hanukkah. Today we're going to be making Sufganiyot, or jelly donuts. There might be some chocolate in there too. And the reason we make Sufganiyot during Hanukkah is because it's fried in oil, and it's a reminder that the oil lasted 8 days when it was only supposed to last 1. So this recipe is actually really easy, and even though it requires some hot oil later on in the recipe, it's a great thing to do as a family because kids can mix and play with dough and things like that. So feel free to do this as a family. So to start off, we have a packet of yeast here in this little bowl. We're going to combine it with 2 tablespoons of sugar and 3/4 of a cup of warm milk. And this is to get the yeast to activate, to get it going a little bit. Yeast is alive and it needs something to eat, and it needs a little bit of heat to get it going so that it gets active and ready to help our dough rise. So while that's rising, and you'll know because it will make some bubbles, we're going to combine our dry ingredients. So in here we have 2.5 cups of flour. We're going to combine 2 more tablespoons of sugar. It is a celebration after all. 1 teaspoon of cinnamon, and just a little bit of salt, just pinch of salt. Yeah, a little more salt. And we'll combine that all the way up and mix it up. We're going to add 2 egg yolks. Oops. And that yeast mixture. And we're going to combine that into a ball. Once those ingredients are combined into a ball like this, you may have needed to knead it a little bit. Then you're going to knead in some soft margarine. If you want to make this hard, you can just use margarine instead of butter, and water instead of milk. So you're just going to knead this into the dough. Once you've kneaded all the butter into the dough and you have a ball like this, you're going to put it back into your bowl, cover it with a clean towel, and you're going to put it in the fridge either overnight or for at least 8 hours. I'm back about 8 hours later, and I have taken my dough out of the fridge and have rolled it out, and now I'm going to use this cup to make little circles in the dough, about 24 each. If not 24, at least an even number, and this is a great activity for a kid to do. You just take the cup and go to the edge and go like this, and then continue doing that for the rest of the dough. Once you have your 24 circles cut out like so, then you're going to start to fill. So we have some chocolate pudding, some strawberry jam, and some apricot jam for our fillings, but you can use whatever you'd like. And what you're going to do is you're going to take a very little bit. You don't need very much, just that much. You're going to put it in the middle of one of the circles. Then you take a plain one, a top, and you put it on top of that, and then you want to crimp the sides of it to make sure that there's no holes. Just like that. And really make sure you're pressing down hard so there's no holes. And once you've done that, you're going to take a little bit of some egg whites and just paint the sides with a little bit of egg white to make sure that it stays closed. And then put it down on a sheet with some parchment paper to let rise for a ½ hour. Once you've filled and covered all of your donuts, and you're going to be left with a tray like this with 12 almost ready to fry donuts, but they need to rise for a ½ hour before they actually go into the oil. So we're going to wait a ½ hour. Once you've let your donuts rise for a ½ hour, then you're going to heat up some oil to 375 degrees, and then you are ready to fry. So use a metal spatula I usually use just to make sure, and you put it into the oil. And we're going to fry that until it gets brown, and you can do a few at a time. Once they're brown on one side, you'll flip it over to the next side. Once that side is brown, you'll put them on a baking sheet with paper towels to let them dry out. Once you've fried all of your donuts, you're gonna have a tray that looks delicious like this. And you can take your donut, like so. You can dip it in some powdered sugar. Well, really roll it in some powdered sugar, I mean, come on. And then enjoy. Happy Hanukkah.